Hi guys, this is Ashlee Main here again, and I am doing a vlog today, but I'm gonna make it a tutorial on how to make one of my favorite meals that I've been posting on Instagram. And when I posted it, everybody was like, how are you making that? What's the recipe for it? And things like that. So since more of you guys are liking that, I think I want to post more of those. And if you're not already following me on Instagram, then feel free to follow me there at Ashlee Main. I'm gonna do a weekly this or that for my next vlog. So whether you guys want to see more, food tutorials, if you want to see more workouts, or me talking about more things, I'm gonna have a couple things on there and you can vote for which one is going to be the next video. So today I'm gonna make a chicken red curry that I really like. I like all the flavors in it. There's like some ginger, some garlic, some coconut, stuff like that. And it's really, really fast too if you make it this kind of way. And you can change it up as much as you want. Right now I'm still in my prep. I think I'm like 10 or so weeks out right now. So for my first show, I have 2. I'm weighing everything. I have my macros all scheduled out, and I wanted to talk about that just for a second real quick too. Now, everything I'm gonna have today, I'm gonna weigh, and I'm going to have my measurement spoons for everything as well. Now, I have to do that because I am competing right now, and everything matters. Every calorie matters. You only have so much time, and this is a sport. It's something that like you kind of have to go above and beyond with, just like any other sport and just like any other athlete would do. Now, you can do the same thing if you want. Like I go over in a couple of videos and in my Instagram. Calories do matter, your macros matter. If you're trying to lose weight or if you're trying to gain muscle mass as well and not gain a whole bunch of fat. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible to do without doing that, but my philosophy is the fastest way to get to point A, oh my gosh, redo that. Ugh, can't talk today. The fastest way to get through the symptoms. The fastest way to get from point A to point B is a straight line. So if you're not sure what you're having at all and you're just going all over the place and your progress also going all over the place and that bothers you, then you should probably try a few days to log your food to see what's happening. Otherwise, you have no idea what to do with your food and what you're even doing. Now, if you don't care that much, you're just trying to be a healthier person, then you know what, fine. Eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full, and you can go ahead and do that. It's like intuitive eating. But again, if you do have like an actual goal and you have a set timeline for that, or again, if you're not making as much progress and you are working out quite a bit, you think that you're eating a little bit better and you're not sure what's going on and it bothers you, then you should probably log your food and see what's going on with it. And with that also being said, when I'm getting closer to my shows and I have to lower my body fat down while keeping my lean muscle mass, I log every single thing that I eat, every single thing. Sometimes when I'm bulking though, I might not log like, how much of my veggies I'm having as far as like, spring mix, or I might not log having this extra stock of green onions and stuff like that. But when I'm cutting, I do. Also, it's sometimes good to log almost everything, even if it's not down to the 100% on accurate ounce, because you might have some issues with things that you don't know. Or some same food products could be, that you buy, could be switching up certain ingredients that might have some issues with you, and you didn't know that until you go back and you look at what you've had when you've had some, gut issues. So actually, it's funny, like this past week for me, I made this same kind of, not this past week, a couple weeks ago. I made the same meal, and I also have some lemongrass and cilantro paste that usually I would add into this. Now instead, I'm gonna use the powder version of it and the actual fresh cilantro version of it. But I added the paste in, and I've used the paste before, and they used to use olive oil. But if something else you can also learn from me, read the back all of the time. As I went over in one of my last videos, a brand that I liked a lot, switched up the oil, and I couldn't buy it anymore. So this time I did not read the back, thinking that it was the same stuff that it was before. Again, just lemongrass paste with a little bit of olive oil mixed in to make it easier to go through. And obviously I would track that too. But I was having a little bit of gut issues while I'm cutting, not having any cheat meals, and I was like, what's going on? So I looked back to see what I've been logging, what was different, and the only thing that was different, everything else was the same. I usually have a lot of these things, was the lemongrass paste and the cilantro paste. Sure enough, looked on the back, and there was canola oil in the paste. Which sticks. Again, if people are wondering, like, can you really tell a difference when there's, you know, when it's in there, when it's not? Everyone reacts a little bit differently to each thing as far as how your body reacts with it. If you have an allergy or a tolerance to it. But obviously, I knew there was something that was going on with my body that's not a normal thing. And sure enough, I went back, saw that there was canola oil in there. I don't have, you know, most people have issues with canola oil. But I was really, really noticing it for my body and for me. I had to take it out and I'm back to normal. With that all being said, again, I'm gonna weigh everything today. You can use as much or as little as you want or you need. And I'll go over the macros too at the end of the tutorial as well. So let's start. So a few things that I have out, I'm going to obviously make in the meal today, but a few reasons that the meal is gonna take like all of like 5 or so minutes, maybe longer as I'm gonna be talking, but usually it's like 5, 8 or so minutes to make. And only because the sauce has to simmer for a little bit. But the reason it's gonna take not a whole lot of time to make is because this company preps a lot of my foods in bulk. So like for example, like my last prep, one of the things that I didn't look into before was a meal prep company to make some of my food ahead of time. Also, I just didn't really, I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to trust anybody to do that. Yeah, so I really, like last prep, really just wanted someone to make a lot of my food. Like I wanted it to be grilled instead of me having to go out when it's hot. Where I live here, it's hot, so go out and grill, clean off the grill, do the whole cleanup process, baking a lot of my stuff in bulk and making it on parchment paper if I don't want to use any oil, stuff like that. That took a lot of time, and I wanted to make my food like also interesting and fun for me, and that just took more time to like do that more, like the more mundane part of it, I guess you might say. They make a lot of my food in bulk, a lot of my meat. I have everything grilled, either cooked on parchment paper or steamed. So this is gonna be Saint's meal prep, and they prepped my chicken by grilling it. So this is gonna help a lot as far as saving time. And then also this brand called Tasty Bite. You can make your own rice ahead of time and it be, in the fridge, and you can, portion it out however you want to. But there are times where, like, say for example, I come home and my boyfriend ate the rest of my rice. And I'm like, I gotta go back to the gym. So this is really good too. I get these at Sprouts. I'm sure you can find these a bunch of other places too. They take like 90 seconds to make, and then the rice is done. You can measure it out if you want to. But this has basmati rice and sunflower oil and water. So it's like nothing. It's super, super fast. It makes your rice fluffy. It takes 90 seconds to microwave. And you can bring it with you if you want to, places. So yeah, so we will go ahead and get started. So we're gonna start by making the curry, and we're gonna let that simmer while we're making the chicken that's gonna go underneath the curry. You can pour it on top. So the first thing we're gonna do is take some unsweetened coconut milk, which also, if you don't know this, the original has sugar. It's fine if you don't care, but I need that sweetened one so I can have more of my sugar in other places that I actually want to have. My boyfriend bought the wrong one last week, so I had to run out and get the unsweetened version of it. So we're gonna take 1 cup of it in here. And I love this too. I have a thing about soups. I just really, really like soups and curries and stuff like that. And this, because of the coconut milk being liquid as well, it helps. I'll make them back on top. I'm not done yet. It makes me think I feel like I'm having more food. It keeps me full for longer. So I definitely foresee me having a lot more of these kind of things in my prep. Whether you're having it or not, or in your prep or not, it just is something kind of warm and hot and nice to have. So yeah. Or if you're sick too, maybe. We're gonna have that, and then we're gonna take this curry paste. This stuff is amazing. I put it in my last video. It tastes really good. I love all the flavors in here. To go over it again, there's red chili pepper, garlic, lemongrass, galangal, salt, shallot, spices, and kaffir lime. I love kaffir lime. And it does not do much for your macros as a whole, but it's a lot for your taste buds. So we're gonna have some of this. I'm gonna take 3 teaspoons of it and just get as close as you can to measuring it out. So, okay, so we're doing that. And we're gonna take some ginger paste, or minced ginger. So we're gonna do that. We're going to open this up and do also 1 teaspoon. So we're doing that. We're also gonna add some garlic, and you can obviously chop it up yourself. I don't want to, so I get the minced garlic. Okay. All right, so we're gonna do another teaspoon of that too. I love garlic. Okay, so I'm gonna do the garlic and, oh, actually, I'm gonna add a little more lemongrass powder. So again, since that paste, I have to look for another one. I'm sure there's more. I just have to look for another one. Has the canola oil in there. I'm just gonna add some lemongrass powder. Okay, so we're doing that. And I'm just going to whisk this to where it's all like mixed up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put that on heat while we're making the chicken. We're gonna let that simmer on high just for a little bit, and I'm gonna turn it down to low just a little bit too. While we're doing that though, we are going to cut up bell pepper, the green onions, and let that saute just for a little bit, and then some chicken. So to start though, I'm gonna use a 1/4, by the way. I know someone is going to say, like, you said to saute with avocado oil and not olive oil. I didn't say don't ever do it. I'm just out of avocado oil right now, so we're gonna use olive oil. So that's what we're using right now. But I'm gonna use 1/4 teaspoon. That's something also that, like, if you're making your food, especially if you're making it like fresh, you're sauteing it like a few meals a day, and you're just pouring this olive oil, that's a lot of fat. It's fine if you don't care, but if you're not losing weight and you're wondering where your calories are going, like personally, I want to eat most of my calories, not just have them be somewhere I don't really, notice or recognize. So we're gonna just use a 1/4 spoon of the olive oil. So we're gonna do that. So if you don't have a food scale, you don't have to get one if you don't want to get one. If you at least know a few times, you've weighed your food a few times, you have a general idea of what it is if you happen to be out and you do want to log your food. Because obviously I'm not out here telling you to bring your scale with you to a restaurant and like whip it out and be like, okay, there's like 4 ounces, cool, throw that part away. If you have an idea what it looks like a few times, you can somewhat eyeball it when you're out. And the point necessarily, if you're trying to be healthy and more fit, isn't to get down to the absolute ounce, like what you are having as far as a day. You want to get a general idea. So you're not having a whole bunch of something or way too low of something, or not tracking everything at all. Again, if you have those goals. So I'm gonna zero this out. And right now, I'm not gonna try to eyeball it since I have my scale. I'm gonna do it here. But if I'm out, I can get fairly close to it. But we're gonna do 6. And you can do as much or as little as you want. But for me and my macros, I'm gonna have 6. I hate this, and like one piece is like off. Haha, 6, okay. We have 6 there. So we're gonna put that off to the side. I'm gonna turn the pan on, put that on medium. And we are going to chop up okay. And then also, if you guys are wondering like which peppers are the best ones, like is green better than red or whatever, like if you want to get the most out of it as far as like your overall nutrients go, like the red peppers, they're more expensive usually for a reason. They, green peppers are not that they're not right, they turn into red peppers. So if you wait a little bit longer, they are a little more nutrient dense. So we'll say that, but you don't have to get them. They're all good. They're all good. Someone's gonna be in the comment like, really? Like that's not what it, just fine. Get whatever peppers you want to get. Yeah, there's not one that's better than another one. You can change it up as much as you want. So just make sure again you are picking some stuff that you like. So we're gonna put these peppers up. Sometimes I use red, sometimes I use green. And you can make them thinner if you want. I like them a little more chunky, so I'm cutting them this way. Okay. And the bell pepper, so if you're wondering why I didn't, again, don't call me crazy for trying to weigh everything. I am in prep right now, but I had half of it and I had a Ziploc bag. I did weigh it earlier in the day. I used it before my breakfast, so I just logged all of it earlier, so I know how much is gonna be going in there now. But we have that, and then the green onion also. And again, like if you're not a competitor, I'm not suggesting that you weigh like your green onions or whatever, or stuff like that. Like even my cilantro, I'm not gonna use a whole lot. For that, I'm not gonna weigh. If you are and you like really wanna push your calories to the absolute like gram, then it can be good to do for you. But personally, I do. I get like wherever my macros are at, I have all of it. I have all of the protein, all of the carbs, all of the fat. And you can not chop them if you want. I do chop my chicken up a little bit more. I want the pieces to be smaller in the curry, so I'm gonna make these. And if you want to, I'm not right now, But you can even use like ground turkey if you want. You can use shrimp if you want. Sometimes like I'll pulse this in my food processor a couple of times and make it really, really shredded. But you can do whatever you want. You can make your curry as like chunky or whatever that you want to make. And again, like if I weren't talking, this wouldn't take a whole lot of time to make. Again, like maybe again like 8 minutes. And again, it's only reason because the sauce is to simmer for a little bit. But this doesn't take a whole lot of time at all to make. So if you want to like make it beforehand and like meal prep your food, or you want to come home and just like have a couple things you can do, which I love to do, then we're gonna use the fish sauce and the coconut aminos. So also this, you don't have to add this. I like when there's still a little bit more veggies in there. It just makes it, again, look like there's more happening, and that's just, you know, fun for me. Also, like whenever it starts to cook down a little bit, it gives it a different texture between some of the crunchiness and some of the peppers. The meatiness from the chicken actually reminds me a little bit of like cheese for some reason. Kind of like if you haven't tried it before, but like eggs and putting spinach in it and cooking it down, it tastes, or the texture is a little cheesy. Okay, so we're gonna do fish sauce, and we're doing 1 teaspoon of the fish sauce. A teaspoon and a half for me. Again, you can add as much as you want. Allotted for a teaspoon and a half. It is not a lot, there's some sugar in here too. Put it in there. I'm also going to squeeze lime on here. I would add, the reason I added the spinach or the spring mix first, because when you add liquid, it starts to cook it down a little bit faster than if you could do it after. But either one, I'm sure is fine. We're gonna saute it a little bit. While this is like taking a second to cook up, I'm gonna put the rice in the microwave. So let's put that in here. 90 seconds, there we go. Okay. So while those things are making, let's talk a little bit again about like prep right now. I'm 10 or so weeks out from my first pro show. I have again 2 coming up. And my calories they're still pretty good. I'm not feeling like I'm like absolutely, you know, hangry all the time and irritable. The way you should be doing it is it should be like a slow decline as far as your calories. It shouldn't be like you start out with having 300 grams of carbs and you go right to having 100. That's like, you're not gonna hold your muscle a whole lot that way. You're not gonna feel good also that way. So my calories are slightly going down, my cardio is going up, my training is still staying pretty similar. I am way more attentive to my food and how much is going into each thing than usual. Again, like typically if I'm bulking, I'm not counting like everything. I'm not logging every single, like the cilantro I add on top of my stuff. I'm not adding the green onion and stuff like that all of the time. It's usually the bulk part of my stuff. So like my, you know, my meats, my carbs, some of my veggies, stuff like that. But when I get closer, I have to have every single thing lined up because I want to be able to eat all of my calories, knowing that it actually is where it needs to be at, and I'll be able to make them interesting. And I take the time to log my stuff and different options for myself and look at different things to do that. So funny story, this past week, usually my boyfriend is like, he's fine whenever I prep. I guess I get whiny. I don't necessarily get like angry or like mad or whatever, or like Hulk out. But this past week, I made my own coconut flour pancakes. And during prep, when I get really busy and I'm at, you know, the gym a lot, I try to make sure I like show him that I'm still giving him some attention. If you are a competitor and you have another person like in your life, then, you know, keep it in mind because it's a really selfish sport. So you kind of have to, you know, make sure you're showing some attention to your partner who's supporting you. And what I do is I make sure I make him food. So if I'm making food, I make sure I make something for him so he's not just like thinking he can't eat anything in the house. So I make coconut flour pancakes for him, and I had just like 10 minutes to eat, and then I had to get to the gym, and I put all of my stuff, all my food that's already weighed out and everything on my white plate that I really like. I put everything that was his on a black plate. And he was asking me while I was making my coffee, again, I was rushing, so kind of my fault. But I was rushing, I was making my coffee, not paying attention. He asked like, which plate is mine? He wanted to get his pancakes too. Like, which plate is mine? And I told him black. I guess he heard left, and the White House on the left side, because he grabbed it, and before I could even like say anything, he took a like maple syrup, poured it all over it. And I also had like a ground turkey and egg white scramble on this side. So all that got mixed in, and I was like, I took like time. I was really wanting to eat it. I didn't have any time to make anything else or to like sift through it. And not that his plate had, you know, a whole crap. I didn't weigh everything out. I added more oil when I was cooking some of his stuff because he didn't care that much, stuff like that. So yeah, he got in a little bit of trouble. I wanted my pancake, so I had a protein shake and left. but it's fine. It's fine. Those are a couple of things that like happened this week, but it's fine. So now we have a roll in the house now. It's on a white plate, it's mine. It's on a black plate, it's his. Whatever, hopefully it works. These are done now. What we're going to do, we're going to take the rice. So also you can do a couple of different ways. Like sometimes I'll put the rice underneath the chicken and then pour the sauce on top, or you can do it separately, or you don't have to use any at all. And again, I'm gonna go over the macros after we're done so you can see what you might wanna do and, you know, tweak it from there. With this meal though, I do have 5 ounces of rice that I allotted for. We're going to put the bowl in here. We're gonna zero it out. We're going to put ounces of rice in. There we go. So that's that. And then we're going to scoop this all on top. Yes, I know this pan sucks. I have a few more that I'm thinking about getting, so don't roast me about my pan. So because the bowl is a little bit smaller, and you can do again whatever you want, but this is what I usually do. I'll pour some of the Oreo in here until it's at a point where it's kind of full, depending on how big your bowl is. And as I just keep eating, I'll pour more in. So that way again, I'm getting everything that I want. Plus again, it like gets more soupy, which I like too. Put everything in here. Okay, well that's everything in there. A little bit of cilantro and the other half of this lime, a little bit of the cilantro here. And this, like, I don't usually get as crazy with herbs, like cilantro and sage and stuff like that. We're just like sprinkling a little bit on top. I don't usually count. So it just depends. I might get like even more crazy about it the closer I get if I'm not dropping weight. But as long as I'm dropping weight and I feel good, then I'll just keep doing whatever it is that I'm doing. All right, so that on top. And that is done. So this again is like a curry that I'll make. You can do the same thing with like green curry paste too if you want as well. It's there's a couple different options that you have with it. But to go over the macros for this, I already logged it. So without the rice, this is 38 grams of protein. It's 13 grams of carbs, it's 3 grams of sugar, and it's 13 grams of fat. And again, you can mix and match that as much as you want. Like for example, if you want to make it even lower in fat, you can use shrimp. Shrimp is really, really lean. It's predominantly protein, and you can again have a little bit more of it and not have to worry about having more fat if that's something that you're worried about. And then with the rice, it is 42 grams of protein, 56 grams of carbs, it's 3 grams of sugar, and again, 13 grams of fat. So that is like one of the meals that I would make right now. It's kind of a staple. It tastes really good. It fills me up, and it's really interesting for me. Again, something like this, I can even have, again, closer up to my show, just take a couple of things out or put a few things in. Something that I might experiment with is instead of using the rice, I might use cauliflower rice. So we'll see. Let's get into some questions. This is Ashlee again. So the reason we are in a different area, my makeup, my hair looks different. It's a different day. We had something happen with the last video as far as a Q&A, so we're gonna reach here today and go over them again. Hopefully it's better. One of the questions that I got was, I'm so sorry. But one of the questions that I got was how long I've been training and how long it took for me to get my results and the way I look, now. And that's a kind of an interesting question because it really depends on you. I saw results really quickly because I worked really, really hard for a year straight. I went from around like 135 to 165 or so in the course of like 8 or 9 months. Now that again is a big jump. That's not for everybody, but like I had no cheat meals, I had no alcohol, I didn't go out at all. I went to the gym, ate all my meals, and then came back home for like 8 or 9 months straight. Now that's not for everybody, you don't have to do that, but I went from like not training at all really to going right into competing. So that's a bit of a different thing. But I tell people all the time, again, if you're trying to see results faster, you don't have to get crazy about it if you're not a competitor or things like that. But I will say that you'll see results faster if you buckle down and you're consistent about everything. Again, I saw results really quickly because I was really, really focused. Now again, you don't have to do that, but I can tell you that again, the more focused you are on your food, your workouts, your recovery, things like that, you see results faster than someone who just kind of, you know, fuck around a little bit and like does, you know, 1 or 2 lifts a week, kind of look at their food, not really, stuff like that. So it's just a matter again of how committed you are and how focused you are, and you'll see results a lot faster. But again, I've been lifting for a little over 7 years now. Now I'm, you know, cutting for my show, but before I was cutting, I was around 194. Again, of course of working out, I was around 135. So that is in the course of, again, these, you know, 7 or so years. But again, I'm a competitor, so you don't have to compare yourself to me. And also your body's different, so don't compare yourself to me. So the faster you get on point with your goals, as far as your workouts and your nutrition, things like that, the faster you will get your results. It's the same with anything, really. One of the questions I had was how often do I eat during the day? Do I have 6 meals? It really depends. Sometimes I'll have 5, sometimes I'll have 8. It really depends on how my day goes. If I wake up a lot earlier than usual, I'm gonna space my calories out a lot more. If I wake up and I want to sleep in, if I just need more sleep, I need to recover more, then I might only have 5. So it really just depends on how my day is. There isn't an exact number. Protein does, break down and absorb better if you break it up a little bit more. Carbs, the same thing. If you can, especially if there's sugar involved, you can break it up a little bit more, that'd be even better for you. But there's not a magic number. There's not like if you have 6 or if you have 8, it's going to be, like you have even more fat that you burn or even more muscle that you build. If muscle doesn't really build that way and fat doesn't really, burn that way. So you can have anywhere between like 4 meals, you can have, 8 or whatever. So off of, again, how your day goes, how your hunger naturally is, and then what you need to do as far as your day to kind of, get all your food in and not feel like you are either stuffing yourself or starving yourself. So yeah, so it ranges, depending on my day, between 4 or 5, and sometimes 8. One of the last questions that I had, well, it wasn't necessarily like a question. I had someone reach out to me and ask for a couple of tips that she, was interested in as far as things that I've been posting. I post a lot about fitness and health, obviously, and my clients or my journey and things like that. But I also post a lot about motivation, and I post a lot about confidence, mental health, things like that. And mental health also meaning that's like how you're feeling about you, and that is something that I think is really important for people to realize, especially if you have, again, like a fitness goal or something like that. If you're coming in here hoping that it's going to make you feel better mentally, make you feel like you are whole of a person, that's not really how it works, to be honest with you. I find that it actually works better if you think better about yourself, that you will want to come in here because you want your body, not because you hate it, or you eat things that you know are good for your body because, again, you love your body, you're not because you hate it. So I think it actually plays a big factor in your fitness and health, like overall journey, because if you feel like shit and you feel like you deserve shit, you're not going to, push yourself when you're in here, or you're not going to give yourself the best food you possibly can get because you don't think you even deserve it. So I think that that's part of why I post about those things, is my journey with that. And, I'm not a therapist or anything, even though some of my clients call me that. I've had some things that I picked up along the way that have helped me. And if I post some or if I say some and it helps you, great. I love that. There's some things that I wish people told me when I was younger, or when I first started out, that I wish I learned these things before. So hopefully it helps you. So something that she asked me is, she just asked, like, how do you keep going even when people are naysaying you? How do you stay motivated in what you're doing and what your goals are for you and your vision is for you when people are saying either bad things about you or saying things that they are projecting upon you? How do you not let that bother you? And I don't think that the answer is that it never bothers me, because I'm not going to say like I'm never ever bothered at all, but it's way less than it was before. And I think one of the reasons for that is because I practice self-love daily. daily, if not like minute by minute. And I think that over time, just like with working out and with fitness, if you just keep ripping that shit out, it just gets a lot easier and you don't have to think about it as much anymore. I remember like walking into a gym or even just a room full of people and feeling like not confident, feeling like they were either talking about me when they really weren't, or staring at me, thinking things about me. And that was just my own thoughts that I was projecting out, not even that they were feeling that. That was me and thinking that if I walk into your room, like do they like me, or what can I do to make them like me? Oh God, like what? But that's the way that, I either grew up thinking about myself, or people around me were, trying to put upon me, and I had to learn to not do that. So now when I walk into a room, or if I walk into a gym, I know I belong there. Wherever you are, you belong. And I'm confident in whatever room I go into, and I don't care if people like me or not. I care about if I like them. And it's the same even for social media, where you're putting yourself out there to hopefully make some positive changes, or motivate yourself, motivate others, things like that. Sometimes you can have some flack that you get because of it, or you can have some maybe not so great attention that you were wanting on there. But I think, again, at the end of the day, it's just whatever makes you feel better. So, for example, I get people all the time now telling me that like, oh yeah, I have too much muscle, or how are you going to, no guy is going to want you to have more muscle than him. By the way, I've had a boyfriend for over 4 years, and I've actually grown with him. And at the end of the day, also, wouldn't matter even if I didn't have one. It's a matter of what makes you feel better, not of what someone else is going to make them feel comfortable to see you as. So I think, again, as far as like self-love and self-confidence and self-motivation goes, it has to be on you, not anyone else. I'm not going to stop eating and stop working out and stop pushing myself just because someone else doesn't like the way that I look, or like the things that I say, or how my life goes. If you are happy with your life, if you're happy with where you are, if you are your most authentic self, if you feel like you are living your true self and you're living your life that way, it doesn't matter what anyone else says. Whether it's an ex-boyfriend, whether it's your parents or family, whatever it is, saying things that are not that, positive about you or positive to you, or, anyone that you see on social media, whatever. If you feel like you have to either block them, stop talking to them, limit yourself, things like that, because it helps you mentally, you need to do that for you. And over time, you just start to do these things and think these things, even when people aren't around. You're not saying, bad things about yourself in your head. You're not saying, bad things about other people, because you're happy with where you are. And you're happy enough that you don't have to project whatever it is that you think or whatever you feel that someone else should say, look like, or do on other people. You're worried about yourself. So I think that's something that, again, it just happens over time, and sometimes I think it happens with experience, and sometimes I think with age too. You just stop worrying about what other people think, because again, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks, because you can't control that. You can control what you think about yourself and what you think about your life, and if you are feeling like you're doing it the right way that you want. Because again, even if you were to make those changes that someone else that maybe you know or you don't know wanted, if it doesn't make you happy, why the fuck does it matter? It really doesn't. Again, like I said before, I'm not a therapist. I can't say like, here are these things that you have to do for your situation, because I don't know your situation. But I can tell you that for me, I've had some times I was not that confident. Even when I was really skinny and unhealthy, people always said, people would sometimes say things about me, or say I was too skinny, or say whatever else they felt like they wanted to say. And even now, where I'm actually happy and I feel a lot healthier, I am a lot healthier, I saw people saying things. So it doesn't matter what you do. You can't make everyone happy. All you can do is make yourself happy. And if you make yourself happy, it doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks anyway. You know what I mean? So hopefully, again, that helps. If you guys have any questions about anything that you saw today, or if you have any comments that you want to leave below, if anything helped you, I love to hear that stuff all the time. So please feel free to send me all of the comments and DMs and emails that you want about that. It literally gives me life. If you have any of those, leave them below. If you have not subscribed already, feel free to subscribe to this YouTube. And if you have not gone to my Instagram and followed me, go do that at Ashlee name right here. All right, train hard and be well, guys. All right, bye.